new section of the Qur'an. We are on Anfal. Anfal, or the spoils of war, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. They ask thee concerning things taken as spoils of war. Say, such spoils are at the disposal of Allah and the apostles, so fear Allah and keep straight the relations between yourselves. Obey Allah and His apostle, if ye do believe. For believers are those who, when Allah is mentioned, feel a tremor in their hearts, and when they hear His signs rehearsed, find their faith and strengthen and put all their trust in their Lord, who establish regular prayers and spend freely out of the gifts we have given them for sustenance. Such in truth are the believers. They have grades of dignity with their Lord, and forgiveness and generous sustenance. Just as thy Lord ordered thee out of thy house in truth, even though a party among the believers dislike it, disputing with thee concerning the truth after it has made manifest, as if they were being driven to death, and they actually saw it. Behold, Allah promised you one of the two enemy parties, that it should be yours. Ye wish that one unarmed should be yours, but Allah willed to justify the truth according to His words, and to cut off the roots of the unbelievers, that He might justify truth and prove falsehood false, distasteful though it be to those in guilt. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yas'alunaka anil anfal kilul anfalu lillahi wa rasul fatakullaha wa asilu zatabainikum wa atiu laha wa rasulahu in kuntum mu'minin. Inamal muminu nalazina iza zukira lahu wajilat kululubuhum wa iza tuliyat alayhum ayat zadathum imana wa ala rabbihim yatawakkalun alazina yukimuna salata wa mima razakanahum yunfikun ulaika humul mu'minuna haka lahum darajatun inda rabbihim wa magfiratun wa rizqun karim kama akrajaka rabuka min baytika bil haqqi wa inna farikam minal mu'minina la karihun yujadilunaka fil haqqi ba'da ma tabayyana ka'annama yusakuna ilal mauti wa hum yanzurun wa iza ya'idukumu lahu idhata ifaitayani yanaha lakum wa waduna anna gaira zati shawkati takuna lakum wa yuridu lahu aniyu hikal haka bi kalimatihi wa yakta dabiral kafirin li yuhukal haka wa yubtilal batila wa la karihal mujrimun. Okay. Remember ye implored the assistance of your Lord, and He answered you, I will assist you with 1,000 of the angels, ranks on ranks. Legions, family! Allah made it but a message of hope, an assurance to your hearts. In any case, there is no help except from Allah, and Allah is exalted in power, wise. Remember, He covered you with a sort of drowsiness to give you calm as from Himself, and He caused rain to descend on you from heaven, to clean you therewith, to remove from you the stain of Satan, to strengthen your hearts, and to plant your feet firmly therewith. Remember thy Lord inspired the angels with the message. I am with you. Give firmness to the believers. I will instill terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. Smite ye above their necks, and smite all their fingertips off them. This because they contended against Allah and His apostle. if any contend against Allah and His Apostle, Allah is strict in punishment. Thus it will be said, Taste ye then of the punishment for those who resist Allah is the penalty of fire. O ye who believe, when ye meet the unbelievers in hostile array, never turn your backs to them. If any do turn their backs to them on such a day, unless it be in a stratagem of war, or to retreat to a troop of his own, he draws himself the wrath of Allah, and his abode is in hell, an evil refuge indeed. So it is very smart to say don't turn your backs in war, unless it's a strategic strategy, right? Because if you do have your troops retreat, the enemy, when they see all your troops going back like this, they're like, oh, your people are like this. There's chaos in your own ranks. Like, are we winning? Are we losing? And then the doubt comes in and their courage lessens. So I could definitely see that. And then the enemy, seeing all your troops retreat, is actually like, yeah, their morale and their courage goes up. So I can definitely get what they mean by that. It is not ye who slew them, it was Allah. When thou threwest a handful of dust, it was not thy act, but Allah's, in order that He might test the believers by a gracious trial from Himself. For Allah is He who heareth and knoweth all things, that and also because Allah is He who makes feeble the plans and stratagems of unbelievers. O unbelievers, if ye prayed for victory and judgment, now hath the judgment come to you. If ye desist from wrong, it will be the best for you. If ye return to the attack, so shall we. Not the least good will your forces be to you, even if they were multiplied. For verily Allah is with those who believe. O ye who believe, obey Allah and His Apostle, and turn not away from Him when ye hear Him speak. Nor be like those who say, We hear, but listen not. For the worst of beasts is the sight of Allah or the deaf and dumb, those who understand not. If Allah had found in them any good, He would indeed have made them listen, as it is. If He had made them listen, they would but have turned back and declined faith. O ye who believe, give your response to Allah and His Apostle, when He calleth you to that which will give you life. And know that Allah cometh in between a man and his heart, and that it is He to whom ye shall all be gathered. And fear tumult or oppression, which affecteth not in particular, only of those who do wrong, and know that Allah is strict in punishment. There's a letter C here. I don't know what it means, so I'll say it. Letter C. All to mind when ye were a small band, despised through the land, and afraid that men might despoil and kidnap you. But He provided a safe asylum for you, strengthened with His aid, and gave you good things for sustenance, that ye might be grateful. O ye that believe, betray not the trust of Allah and the Apostle, nor misappropriate knowingly things entrusted to you. And know ye that your possessions and your progeny are but a trial, and that it is Allah with whom lies your highest reward. So that's cool. Your possessions are a trial, right? Like, you're given something and it's going to be a test. How are you going to use it? Is it going to take over your brain, or are you going to control it? And are you going to whine when it's taken away, or when it gets broken? And O ye who believe, if ye fear Allah, He will grant you a criterion to judge between right and wrong, remove from you all evil that may afflict you, and forgive you, for Allah is the Lord of grace, unbounded. Remember how the unbelievers plotted against thee to keep thee in bonds, or slay thee, or get thee out of thy home. They plot and plan, and Allah too plans, but the best of planners is Allah. When our signs are rehearsed to them, they say, We have heard this before. If we wished, we could say words like these. These are nothing but tales of ancients. Remember how they said, O Allah, if this is indeed the truth from thee, rain down on us a shower of stones from the sky, or send us a grievous penalty. But Allah was not going to send them a penalty which thou writ amongst them, nor was He going to send it whilst they could ask for pardon. Oh, that's interesting. So He's like they're not going to send a penalty down from the sky because it'll also hurt the believers, right? And then why would He send it if they could also ask for a pardon? That's a stupid thing for people to request. Send stones down from the sky. Do you know how badly that would hurt? Even if they're small, if it pecks you in the eye, that would tear. Like, I don't know, like when we were kids, some they started replacing the playgrounds instead of with sand with these tiny little rocks, and some kids would pick it up and then they throw it at you. Oh, it hurts so bad. Like, ow, and it gets in your ears, it gets in your hair. Oh, it's terrible. Why would anyone ask for that? And if it's coming down from the sky, isn't it going to increase with velocity? So can you imagine you're just sitting there and then puck, 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 ow, you can get knocked out. Why would anyone ask for that? But what plea have they that Allah should not punish them when they keep out men from the sacred mosque and they are not guardians? No man can be its guardians except the righteous, but most of them do not understand. Their prayer at the house of God is nothing but whittling and clapping of hands. Whoa, that is so true. Interesting. I always felt shy when the music was really loud in the churches. I know some people like that. Baptists like and Methodists like that form of worship. But I always felt so insecure and shy when there would be really loud cheering because for me, I wanted church to be a quiet, peace, stillness where I could focus. And I know some people want church to be more of lively and community, right? But if you do notice that there's some evangelical branches where they do that, but the crowd gets really weird. There's like an energy that transfers, and if you ever see them, they go like sometimes the pastors go like this, and then the people go like, and they all fall down on the floor, and it's really strange, cause like with the energy like that, it moves and it like goes out, and it can like take you totally off the connection with God, right? Because you have to sit still and focus. As somebody who has ADHD, which I'm sure many of you noticed, sometimes your brain will focus and then it goes off, and then it comes back, and then goes off, and comes back. And that can work to your advantage if you know how to work within it, right? So it's worse for someone like me to be in like a worship scene where, you know, they are clapping and making a lot of noise, because then I'm focused on the entertainment, looking at other people's reactions, right? Instead of like focusing on me and then a connection. Now, you know, some would argue that makes people more, it makes it boring. Like in some Mormon churches, people just go like, you know, quiet when they agree, or there's like a quiet singing, right? And they might say it's dry, but Buddhists would say like, no, we want just this those throat chants, and then you have your prayer beads, your mandala, or what they call it, and you just go through the mantras, and you just connect, and you go up, right? So, but then Native Americans would say, when we do a drum dance, that is just connecting our feet with a certain form of breathing, and they're going around a bonfire and thinking about everything they're grateful for. But that's an old ancient ritual. Not many people do that. So it really depends. But I do see where they're coming from, where this perspective is coming from. The unbelievers spend their wealth to hinder men from the path of Allah. Dude, yes they do. Yes. That is so true, man. And so will they continue to spend, but in the end they will have only regrets and sighs. At length they will be overcome, and the unbelievers will be gathered together to hell. In order that Allah may separate the impure from the pure, put the impure one on another, heap them together, and cast them into hell, they will be the one to have lost. Say to the unbelievers, if now they desist from unbelief, their past would be forgiven them. But if they persist, the punishment of those before them is already a matter of warning for them. And fight them on until there is no more tumult or oppression, or there prevail justice and faith in Allah altogether and everywhere. But if they cease, verily Allah doth see all that they do. If they refuse, be sure that Allah is your protector, the best to protect and the best to help. And know that out of all the booty that ye may acquire, let's change the word to booty to spoils. that ye may acquire in war. A fifth share is assigned to Allah. Okay, a fifth share. You have to give a portion to Allah and to the apostle and to near relatives or orphans, the needy and the wayfarer. If ye do believe in Allah and in the revelation we sent down to our servant on the day of testing, the day of meeting of the two forces, for Allah hath power over all things. Remember ye were on the hither side of the valley, and they on the farther side, and the caravan on lower ground than ye. Even if ye made a mutual appointment to meet, ye would certainly have failed in the appointment. But thus ye met, and that Allah might accomplish a matter already enacted, that those who died might die after a clear sign had been given, and those who live might live after a clear sign had been given. And verily Allah is He who heareth and knoweth all things. Remember in thy dream Allah showed them to thee as few. If He had shown them to thee as many, ye would surely have been discouraged, and ye would surely have disputed in your decision. But Allah saved you, for He knoweth well the secrets of all hearts. And remember when ye met, He showed them to you as few in your eyes, and He made you appear as contemptible in their eyes. Whoa, that's trippy. So He can change the perceptions in people's eyes, that Allah might accomplish a matter already enacted. For to Allah do all questions go back for decision. O ye who believe, when ye meet a force, be firm, and call Allah in remembrance much often, that ye may prosper. Yeah, if you're going to war and you're not firm in your disposition, man, you can get conquered real easy. Very fascinating.